right, we're going to start this half hour here with a look at this week's top political headlines. And ABC Deputy Political Director Averi Harper, she's not sick of us yet. She's back with that.
No, not. Good
Welcome
morning.
back.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with Congressman George Santos. Of course, in our last half hour, we were talking about that House investigation alleging that he used campaign donations for Botox, purchases at Ferragamo, Hermes, even OnlyFans. Other attempts to expel him have not worked. Is this any different?
Well, there is a high bar in order for George Santos to be expelled from the House of Representatives. They need at least 2/3 of the House members to vote in favor of expulsion in order to remove him. So I think that we're going to see some of the math change on this, especially because of some of the findings of that Ethics Committee report. They are very damaging. So there's some lawmakers who indicated that they were not in favor of expulsion before, who are now indicating that they could vote yes on this. In terms of political implications, this seat, the New York Congressional District, the 3rd Congressional District, is really one that is credited with the razor-thin majority for Republicans in the House. And so regardless of whether there's going to be a special election or we're going to wait until 2024, there's going to be lots of heavy investment from both parties to figure out who is going to replace George Santos in that seat. At last check, there are about 20 folks on both sides of the aisle who are vying to replace him.
Okay, that should be interesting. All right, let's talk about the government shutdown that did not happen because President Biden signed that stopgap spending bill to avert it. However, this is another one of those continuing resolutions. We kick the can down the road. What happens next?
Right. They signed what is called a laddered continuing resolution. That's just a really complicated way to say that this is a temporary fix that funds the government in 2 different parts. So some agencies are going to be funded through January 19th and others are going to be funded through February 2nd. It does kick the can down the road. It gives lawmakers more time to strike a more long-term deal. It is really important to note in this deal, there is not funding for the war in Israel with Hamas. There's not funding for Ukraine. There's not funding for humanitarian aid for Palestinian people. And so I think we can expect for lawmakers to make a separate push for that before the year is over.
And a lot of people will have their eyes on that. But let's get to this. President Trump has successfully beaten back these attempts to keep him off of the ballot in Michigan so far, Minnesota, and now we're talking about Colorado.
Right. In Colorado, we saw, just like in Michigan and Minnesota, we saw a judge there rule in favor of former President Trump, saying that he can be on the ballot in Colorado. This all has to do with the 14th Amendment. There is a clause within it that says that, folks who participate in an insurrection or a rebellion, that they should not be able to hold public office. In this case, the judge said because there's no definitive guidance about how that clause is supposed to be interpreted, that she couldn't apply it to former President Trump in this case. But it doesn't mean that those attempts are going to go away. The group that's behind these cases in several states across the country, they said they're going to appeal to Colorado's Supreme Court, and it's likely that we could see the U.S. Supreme Court asked to weigh in.
Yeah, and that opinion was 100 pages, so it was very far-reaching. Averi Harper, we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.